Welcome back to the Baseball Hut 2, where we talk about things other than the New York Mets, but I would mention that we're going to talk in this video about a former Met, Noah Syndergaard, and this video starts right now. Now, before we get into the subject of Thor, former god of thunder and the curveball from hell, I hope that you subscribe to the Baseball Hut 2 as we get along here and talk about different things in Major League Baseball. So Noah Syndergaard was picked up by the New York Mets in a trade for Cy Young Award winner R.A. Dickey in 2012. And Noah came in with a reputation of a guy that threw 99 to 100 miles an hour. Now, at the time, there were very few pitchers in the minor leagues, very few pitchers in baseball that were a guy that could throw that hard, and Noah was doing that. So his reputation was that, and he's a big guy. His background was from Norway. He gotten the nickname Thor because he has long blonde hair, and he was a guy that sort of almost like a superhero, like a superhuman in a lot of ways. And I think he kind of looked at himself like that. He went through the Mets farm system. I know that in 2014 he wanted to come to the major leagues. The Mets did not feel that he was ready, but he was ready by May of 2015, and he took the Mets and really Major League Baseball by storm. For 2 years. He was great in 2015. He helped the Mets get to the World Series, and he was a big reason they won. They got the postseason again in 2016 because he was their best starting pitcher that year. Because Matt Harvey had declined. He was having issues. He had a problem with his arm. He had problem. He had a blood clot in his arm. Jacob deGrom was lost for the last month and a half, 2 months. He had to get his shoulder cleaned. And Noah was basically the guy that was the anchor to the pitching staff and anchor to this team. And for those 2 years, there was no better pitcher than him. Now, he was kind of had a bad injury in 2017. He hurt his lat. He should have gotten an MRI. The Mets did not do the right thing. He didn't get an MRI, unfortunately. And he missed a good portion of the season, most of the season, really. And the Mets season went down the drain. In 2018, he sort of seemed to take a step back as a pitcher. Now, in 2019, he pitched really well. But in 2020, in April, right after they shut the season down, the Mets announced that he had to get Tommy John surgery. He missed all of that year. He missed all of 21. And he missed pretty much all of last year. He pitched 1 or 2 games last year for the Mets. Only pitched 2 innings in 2022. Or 21, sorry. And then in 22, the Mets gave him a qualifying offer, and he didn't take it. He went to the Angels. He pitched okay for the Angels. They were a bad team. He got traded midseason to go to the Phillies. Now, this offseason, he signed a 1-year deal with the Dodgers, hoping that he would find his ability to be an elite pitcher again. That's not gone well. In his last 5 starts for the Dodgers, he has an ERA of 7.20. Over the 11 games that he has pitched, he's got an ERA of 6.54. He's 1-4, 1-5, something like that. And he's not even striking out a batter or an inning with the Dodgers. His strikeouts per 9 innings is 6. So he's pitching to contact. Now, I know that he was pitching 93 miles an hour last year for the Phillies and for the Angels. I don't know what he's throwing now, but he said a comment last night. He lost to the Nationals last night. He gave 5 runs in 5 innings and really did not pitch well at all. He said, and quote, "I would give up my hypothetical kid, my hypothetical firstborn, to be the old me again." It's sad to see that. See, there's some pitchers and some players, they reach a certain point, I guess he feels that he can't be great again. I feel bad for him. But, this is the thing about Tommy John surgeries. Not every pitcher comes back. Only Matt Harvey was the only one that pitched over 200 innings the year after Tommy John surgery. So all the pitchers that you know of that have pitched, and after that, he was nothing really after that. So, he gave the Mets everything he could give, and this is Matt Harvey. Zach Wheeler has pitched great since he had his Tommy John surgery, but Zach Wheeler missed 2 seasons. He missed the 2014 season the 2015 season and the 2016 season due to this injury to his arm. He pitched for the Mets in 2018 sporadically, and then in 2019 he pitched really well for the Mets, and the Mets let him walk to go to Philadelphia. But Noah was a guy that everyone kind of recognized that he doesn't have a long stride. He doesn't really use his legs in his motion. He was kind of destined to have Tommy John surgery, unfortunately. He's very much all arm action. Not a lot of lower body part to his game. So nobody was surprised that he got the Tommy John, but he did miss 2 seasons pretty much. As a Mets fan, and I was a big fan of his in particular, I feel bad for him because he got a sort of I don't know. I feel bad for him, to be honest with you, because he had such great stuff. He didn't walk anybody. He was the reason the Mets went to the World Series. He's the only pitcher in the last 20 years to win a World Series game as a starter. So that means something here at the Hut. And it should mean a lot to the Met fans. And I've been hard on him, goofing on him, making fun of the fact that he kind of ducked the Mets a couple times last year. But I feel real bad for him. I hope that he finds his way back, at least to where he's able to figure out how to pitch. He's got to figure out how to pitch with the stuff that he has. And he always had good stuff. He always had a great breaking ball. But he's not throwing hard anymore, so he's going to have to learn how to pitch. If he doesn't learn how to pitch, then in all likelihood, he's going to muddle around. But hopefully he figures it out at some point. To be honest with you, I feel real bad for him. I think all Met fans that liked him back then feel bad for him. But he's going to have to figure it out. If he can't figure it out, then he might not be a major league pitcher anymore. Who knows? But he didn't pitch that badly last year. So he might just be going through a bad streak. Maybe he's hiding an injury. Maybe there's an injury that he doesn't know about. That, sometimes with these pitchers, sometimes when you throw a lot, you don't realize that there's an injury that he might not be aware of. Maybe there's something going on with that elbow again, but it's not hurting him. So where he's not able to get the snap off of a breaking ball, he's not getting the extra oomph to his fastball. Maybe there's an injury to the arm again. I'm just speculating. But the numbers don't lie about him. He's not fooling anybody. Maybe you put him in the bullpen. There was always talk about when he was with the Mets that the Mets wanted to put him in the bullpen. That sort of was the talk, that his arm wasn't going to hold up. Maybe he becomes a reliever. That's not a bad thing. Maybe he becomes a closer. And maybe he finds the uptick in the velocity that he's been missing. Seth Lugo was with the Mets for a long time. And he was very good as a reliever. Maybe that's what Noah's future is. Maybe that's where his future is. Some pitchers hit a wall when they're starters at points in their career. We saw that with Dennis Eckersley. He probably hit a wall as a starter, became a reliever. John Smoltz went back and forth. He was a starter, a great starter, became a great reliever, and then went back to starting again. Maybe that's what Noah has to do. I don't think he's finished by any means, but he has to figure it out, what he wants to do. Because the next step is probably then putting him in the bullpen. That's not the worst thing in the world. Maybe there's not a lot of bullets in that arm. Maybe he's got 20 bullets in an arm for an outing and relief. And he could throw 95, 96, 97, get it back up there. And he could become a two-pitch pitcher. That's a possibility. He always had the potential to be a reliever. We know that. We always heard that here in New York. So, you let me know what you think about this video. We extend hope that Noah figures it out. And, of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut 2. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.